What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Hello.
You hear me?
I can hear you. I just turned on my microphone. We got Zach back in the house. It looks like we got some people already on. SLPR Hoopty. It's a new member. I appreciate you joining in. Mod Motor Mayhem, a new member. T-Bone 91X, Rodney, Anthony. What's up, guys? What's up? James. What's happening? Joe and Denise. Hello. I hope y'all are all doing well. I have normal sweet tea tonight. I'm still not drinking that alcohol, that liquor. Doggone, I'll unplug this again. Guaranteed to get unplugged. I got good old fashioned sweet tea.
There you go.
How are y'all doing?
What's going on, everyone?
Zach, you been working on your hot rod?
A little bit here and there, steady drilling out spot welds.
Oh my gosh. Zach has decided to take on the project of doing upper torque box replacement and lower torque box replacement. What's up, buddy? All right, fist bump.
Oh. You can't hit the screen, buddy.
Look, he's like, I'm hitting it. No, sir. Well, good seeing you guys. Yeah, alcohol is for racing, nitromethane. You remember that shirt? The shirt back in the day? It said, what did it say? I don't remember. I remember the two slogans I remember. It said, what did it say? It said, alcohol is for drinking and nitromethane is for racing. And there was something else. I can't remember what it was, though. Jerry, you got us on the big screen tonight. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad I shaved. Got a little scruffy.
You did get cleaned up tonight. Got the nice new hat on.
I know, right? I told Kevin this was my day drinking hat. This was my daily driver hat. See, when you're bald, when you ain't got no hair, you got to have daily driver hats and you got to have work on car hats. This is my daily driver hat. I forgot to take it off. Come in the house, I was like, oh yeah, we'll put on my daily driver hat. Brian, what's up, man? Frankie, Mike Norton, what's happening? We'll get through your questions. Let's see here. Jerry, Josh said, unfortunately, I can't stay home tonight. Can I just email the answer to the question? Yeah, I'll shoot you an email, Josh. I was just looking at all of the questions. Real quick, though, on the front bumper. Let me show y'all real quick what he sent me. Hold on, let me share my screen. So Josh had a question he sent about removing this front bumper. He said, not sure if it's a Tech Talk question. It is. Everything's a Tech Talk question. The fiberglass actual bumper, can it be deleted? It's in the way of mounting everything on the car. I have not run the actual bumper in forever. The problem is this thing gives you, it's a bumper. So, you got these crash beams back here. This is the frame rail. So what happens is if you run this thing into something without this on there, it's going to destroy everything. The good thing is if it's a race car, you can just put a bar across this. I actually remember, I think it was Rock Solid Motorsports. They're kind of a local company in North Carolina. They make a bar. It's like a little U shape to go through here. So it's a lot more lightweight, but it'll actually bolt to the factory frame and then come across to just give it support. But the thing is about these front bumpers, I was real hesitant when I first took mine off. But, this does have structural rigidity in front here, of course, for the front frame rails. But basically, you see cars all the time. They chop them from right here at the frame rails or on the frame rail at the strut tower. Most of your support from the strut towers forward, it really doesn't do a lot as far as like holding the shape of the car, in my opinion. So, but it would be a good idea to put something back there, especially if you bump something easy and, you're at the track and, it could have been just a little fender bender. And then if nothing's there, then you warp everything over and then you got to cut everything off. The other option, if it's not a daily driver, if it's a race car, is just go ahead and swipe it off right at the front there and tube it all out. But I probably I probably would not take it off and just leave nothing there. I probably would tie it together with something, even if it's just a piece of flat bar that you welded across there, just to give it some shape and just in case you have a little fender bender. I don't know if Josh is still on or not. He may have already jumped off. Let's see. Yeah, Brandon said once you get the old torque boxes out, Zach, it's not too bad putting the stuff in, but man, getting them out is just dirty.
Yeah, I think I'm about halfway there on the upper. I've been going slow and try not to butcher it up too much.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is insane the amount of work that it takes, though. But luckily, I mean, the car is right there with you. It's not, a long ways away or 45 minutes away or 30 minutes away. It's right there. You can be sitting in there on the couch and say, hey, look, I'm going to go out there and work on it.
Yeah, I was going to be working on it tonight. But I got kind of tired sitting here, so I ain't going to mess with it.
I just took a 10-minute power nap. We went out to eat. Dude, I had a turkey sandwich, and it felt like Thanksgiving, like I was at the house. I was like, apparently turkey does something to me. It makes me sleepy. Mm-hmm. But I was like, okay, I got to take it was actually 9 minutes. I took a 9-minute power nap. And yes, I can take a 9-minute power nap. I can go right to sleep and then wake right up. A lot of people can't do that. My wife is very jealous usually. Frankie said, glad to see both cars going fast. Now just get Brian's going. Yeah, Brian's still working on his. It's at the chassis shop. He ended up cutting the body off of it. The way that thing started off life, it was a shell. There's a 68 Mustang shell, and he had a chassis. And so he put the body on the chassis, welded it on there. I mean, it's a full tube chassis car. And so he ended up cutting the body off of it. Frame is at the cage and chassis is at the chassis shop, getting that repaired. Hopefully he'll have it back, soon. It's always something though. You know how it is when you're working on race cars. It seems like one thing after another. You think it's going to be a real quick, easy, simple fix, and then it ends up being a little bit more difficult. So, that's just where it is. But hopefully in a few weeks, and mine was on a rail. I don't know if y'all noticed. Did y'all see the thumbnail last time for the last race? Zach, we were down there at his house, but his wife didn't. She didn't get the schedule on where we were racing. And so Brooke scheduled a Halloween party on top of our racing stuff. So Zach had to go do that. But he was on the live feed a little bit. And I mean, we were real close to his house. I know it was killing him to go, but family stuff comes first. 15
minutes.
And you could probably, if you were outside, you could probably hear the race cars almost. Oh, listen.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. If you'd been at your old house, you could have.
Yeah. I would have went to the race if I'd lived at my old house.
You'd been like, hey, honey, I'll be right back.
Yes.
I'll be back. I'm going to I got to go to the store for a minute. But so Zach, that was the third race that I've got a win at, and he wasn't there. And he was like, are you freaking kidding me? And Zach's a huge part of the team. So I photoshopped him into the winner circle. And it actually turned out pretty good. I don't think nobody even noticed.
It did. I didn't notice. And whenever you texted me and told me, I was laughing.
that was pretty funny. That's what I told Kelly. I was like, Kelly, I think I can get Zach in here. And I grabbed you out a screenshot when we were at Galot with Randy's car. And that's why you were walking toward me on camera. That was the only one I had.
Randy called me and talked to me last night. So it looks like he grabbed my butt.
That was funny. He said he was going to jump on tonight too, but we weren't on Randy's. I posted that video. We did real good on Randy's car. I'm gonna show y'all all the data logs from what we had going on with my car and Randy's last weekend. But we got the gear changed in his. So his is Brian got the pan back on it today, and he's waiting on some fittings for his external transmission cooler. So hopefully they'll be here tomorrow. And so, hopefully, we should be fine. But we're planning on racing Friday and Saturday at Piedmont Dragway, Carolina, no time racing. So we'll be out there. They got a free entry race on Sunday. So we may do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It kind of depends. We're going to take the motor home. I got the motor home working this afternoon. So generator, everything, all that stuff is back working. So that's good. So we should be ready to go. Mike had a question. Mike Norton, running a Pro Bracket radial and a single adjustable QA1 rear shock. What do you think is a good starting point? 2,900-pound car. It kind of depends on how much what's your suspension settings. If it is real aggressive, if you got a lot of anti-squat in it, you're probably going to be on 9 or 10 clicks. You're going to be mostly full tight. If you don't have a ton of anti-squat and the car is mostly neutral, if it's a little bit over 100% or a little bit less than 100%, it should be a little bit over 100%. I would probably shoot for 100, 130, 140, 150 with a good double adjustable. With a single adjustable, that it might not be able to handle that, but you're going to still want to be pretty tight. And the thing is with the single adjustable shocks is, you've only got one setting, which I went real fast with single adjustables for a long time. I always run them like 8 or 9 clicks though, from full loose. So you're probably going to end up being trying to do the same thing. If y'all notice on Randy's car when we took it Thursday night, we're going to need to stiffen the extension up on his a little bit because it come up too fast and topped out. Last night when we had it on the lift, or when was that? Monday night when we had it on the lift, we're going to need to change some things around on that one. It's got a 14-inch spring on it, but we're going to need a helper spring on it with a really soft spring, and I think it's got a soft spring on it, but it's not. We don't have full extension. What's happening is when the shock tops out, the spring is kind of flopping in there, and it's 14-inch spring, but we need it to. Well, I don't know what we need. I have no idea what we need. It's like a 7-inch stroke, but we need to get more body, more shock. I think the spring's just too stiff. I couldn't find any numbers on it. I think it's soft, but I don't know if it's soft enough. It's going to probably need to be like a 60 or 80-pound spring. And then because we got to get it to compress all the way, and I've got to be able to get more. I can get more shock arm in the body if we can compress the spring more, but we can't do it right now with that spring. So we got a little bit of work to do on Randy's, but that's not going to happen right now. That's going to be something that's going to happen a little bit later. But anyway, rear shocks are a big deal. Now, y'all saw how good the Stranges they worked on the front, the revalved pro mod series. Those things were awesome. I could feel the front end just gradually coming up. It was awesome. The car was working like a champ. It was like a bracket car. I'm gonna show y'all all those passes a little bit later. Jonathan said we're going to no prep race in Calhoun, Georgia, November 7th. We've got a bunch of local races here in the next for the next month. We got this weekend. We're going to Carolina No Time with Randy's. November the 7th at Thunder Valley, there's a no time race. $300 buy-in. If we can get 32 cars, it'll be $10,000. But I think he's got 18 or 19 now. So, hopefully we'll have 20 cars or so, but that'll be no prep. So we'll be doing that November 7th. That's right here at the house. November 14th, Carolina No Time, along with one of the announcers for Street Outlaws, Steve Logan. They're putting on a race at Darlington, a no prep race. $10,000 guaranteed pot in small tire, like $7,000 a win, $2,000 runner up. They're paying back 4 spots. So we'll be doing that November the 14th. The following weekend, November 27th, 21st, there's a race somewhere, but man, I can't remember where it was, but it's fairly local too. So there's a bunch of local racing happening. Henry said, "What's up? What's up, man? LS love. Asphalt is for racing, dirt is for planting potatoes." Oh, that's funny. That's a good saying too. That's your old dirt track, circle track stuff. Russ up, what's up? Crossano's Skullworks. Javon, 1989. Alcohol is for drinking, gas is, yeah, there you go. Gas is for cleaning parts. Nitro is for racing. That's what it was. Gas is for cleaning parts. I couldn't remember what it was. And LS Love said the same thing. Rodney, what's up, Rodney? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, good. He wishes Zach good luck on that project. That stuff is rough. I'll never forget when I cut my boxes out. I did it over there with Brian's, and at some point along the way, I started off life trying to get the weld the spot welds, drill them out, and I don't know how far I got. And then I was like, okay, this is not working for me. And so then I was like, let's break out the grinder. And I got the side grinder, and I grinded for, it seemed like hours. But I was like, okay, this is not working for me. And I finally got it to the point where I could take the air chisel and I put the air chisel on the air hammer and then I blasted through everything. And which I had done a lot of cutting and a lot of drilling. So I mean it mostly come loose at that point. But man, it was so tough. That is not a fun project at all.
Walk out there and
you're gonna show us what it is?
I walk out there literally. Some people, I've realized that some people don't realize what the torque boxes and Fox bodies are. Just when I'm talking to some of my local guys that I hang out with, they're like, "What in the world are you talking about?"
Right.
You gotta get around these big old dogs.
We got the puppies outside. Are they in the? Slime Cuda said, "How much added power do you apply with the W tires?" Man, this thing is taking some. I think it can go fast. I mean, it's barely chirping the tires. That extra 1 inch of tire, along with those front struts, I don't know which one helped the most, but that combination is really working. The car is really working well. I didn't change the tune-up, but just a little bit. From the first pass to the second pass, when I had to race Jason Tyson, I just tried to get a little bit faster, but it really didn't pick up much because down track was rough. Zach, you going to show us up under there?
Yeah. I'm getting some lights plugged in so you can see.
Josh, we'll see you next week, man. Thanks. Hopefully that helps. Just get you a piece of bar to tie those two front together, and then you'll get plenty of room to get your intercooler in there.
Let's see how do I turn this thing. Oh, that shut it off.
Horsepower Chris, he's got a question too. Oh, there's the yeah, there you go.
Those cut, these cut, that one cut, that cut, that cut, that cut. These are cut. These up here.
It looks like they're ready to pop out.
Yeah, all of these that are cut, these are all, they're off the body of the car.
Oh, nice.
They're all cut and pulled back a little. I'm starting up here. I'm trying to pull it out as one piece, but I know I've read and seen that you can't do it. So I'm going to end up having to take these off and then getting this back plate out, I guess.
Right.
So I haven't touched the lowers yet.
Well, that looks pretty good. You made it a lot further on the progress than I did. I'd have cranked up that plasma cutter and figured out how to get that thing working.
There's my mini tubs and my upper shock mount over there. Headers, John's rear end.
Hey, did you ever measure those ladder bars?
I can do that right now, actually.
Oh, sweet. We were just wondering how long those ladder bars were, 30, 32, or 36.
You said you want me to measure the top bar or the bottom bar? The top bar looks longer.
I have no idea. I imagine the bottom bar. No, measure the longest one, whichever one's the longest.
I'm going to go center to center.
Or it might be off the rear end housing.
Well, off the rear end housing. Let's see.
No, I don't know. I have no idea. That's above my pay grade. I ain't never messed with ladder bars.
From the center of the front hole to the rear end is about 31 and a half.
Okay, so there's probably the 32-inch ladder bars.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we're going to say anyway. Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
Somebody was asking earlier if I had a coupe or a hatchback. It's a hatchback.
Hatchback life. I'm going to have a hatchback as well. Yay. See the excitement on my face. As good as that car was working this past weekend, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing even. So alcohol injectors, it is basically what you need to size them as is just assume, and this is going to be a high number, but just assume you're going to have a brake-specific fuel consumption of 2.0. So if you want 2,000 horsepower, you need 4,000 horsepower of fuel coming from your injectors. So that is the easiest way to size them, and they'll be a little big. Usually brake-specific fuel consumption is like 1.8, 1.7. It depends on your tune and how, how rich you're trying to run it. But so figure out your horsepower, multiply it by the brake specific fuel consumption. 2.0 is a great number. There are some calculators out there that say go like, 2.2, 2.5. And you can do that if you want to. You can oversize it. You can always slow the injector down. And it's one of those things, if you go to like Billet Atomizer's website, once you get above the 225 injectors, once you get to 325s and above, I think they're all the same cost. So, if you know that you're going to be on the brink between like a 550 injector and a 700 or 800, I would go ahead and get the bigger one. And then that way you're not going to have to upgrade it later, especially if you're going, blower or, turbo. So easy to make horsepower. It's just easy to realize real quickly that you've undersized everything. And then you start jacking your base pressure up more than you need, which you can take the base pressure up a lot to increase the flow. But usually on the big injectors, you got your base and fuel pressure setting at 85 pounds, with the motor revving up and no vacuum on the fuel pressure regulator is where we set ours at 85 pounds base. And it gains about 1 pound of fuel pressure per pound of boost. So, I mean, when you get 40 pounds of boost, you're up there in fuel pressure. But same thing, use that same principle when you're, sizing your fuel pump. Oversize it just a tad. Prepare, put a big belt drive, mechanical fuel pump on it. I would stay away from the electric fuel pumps. I know they make a couple good ones out there that'll flow like 10 gallons a minute, but that's not enough for a ton of power. Unless you want a couple of them. I mean, you can put 2 of those in it, but then you got $4,000 worth of fuel pumps. So Enderley, either the 990 or 1100, Zach just picked him up a used Enderley fuel pump. He's just got to, rebuild it, put seals in it. I mean, you can get those things pretty cheap. How big was yours, Zach? Yours flowed what, 13?
Yeah, 13.2.
All right. So, I mean, you can get, big fuel pumps relatively cheap. They're cast iron, so they're a little heavier, but Enderley's been around forever. So they work really, really good. So, it's definitely, not bad. Let's see. Jason Simpson said the tritopan got you. The what? What is that? Tritopan.
I thought that earlier too. I was like, what is that?
I don't know what that means. He's gonna have to clarify what that is. Slower than you. Hey man, he gave me a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Derek. Derek, look, I got it. See, I remembered it. I remembered his name that time, and I didn't call him Liam or Liam. Was it? What was it? Liam. Lime Neeson. Liam. His name's Derek. But the name of the truck is Liam Neeson. You know who that is, right, Zach?
Yeah.
So he's got a Nissan truck. I don't think you were on when we were talking about that. And so he named a truck Liam Neeson. That's hilarious. That is great now that I get it. Hell, I thought his name was Liam forever. And his name is actually Derek. I didn't even realize that was the name of the truck. I'm slow like that. The girl that, yeah. Rodney said, okay, he's talking about the same thing. Petrifying nature's sleep aid. What is that? Oh, I get. Oh, maybe that's coming into turkey. Maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe that's in the turkey that made me sleepy. That's what it was. We went to our little local, like our little pub, and I got it was a big, like it's mostly healthy, I guess, but it was like sliced turkey breast on bread. Oh my God, with rice. Ooh, man, made me sleepy. Get you a Galat burger. What's up, Cleve? Yeah, Cleve went to the track. It was last week or week before that, and he got a burger, the Galat burger, and it was like this big. It was like it was like 2 pounds of cheeseburger. It was crazy. Boosted Lucille Racing. What's up, man? Hate you had problems down there at the JJ arm drop. That was a good video, man. That sucked, that wreck. If y'all are not following his channel, y'all make sure y'all go follow his channel too. Boosted Lucille Racing. He's got a twin turbo Camaro that he races. He was from Fayetteville up here for a while, and now he lives down there in Texas. I don't remember what branch he's in. He's in the service as well. Appreciate your service. And so he does the racing stuff as well. But there was one of his buddies down there in the Fairmont He got crossed up past the finish line, and I think it was the Dirty Rice car is what they were calling it. They got tangled up, and the Dirty Rice car went over the wall. Did you see that, Zach?
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't realize that was at JJ's race.
Yeah, that was at JJ's arm drop. That was his arm drop race. So that always sucks when there's a crash. But I mean, we're all on borrowed time. We just hope, it's going to be a little fender bender, nothing major. Michael said it's never easy, simple, or quick ever. Yeah, you're right. Working on those torque boxes is rough.
Yeah.
Yes, it is tough. What happened to the belt? Thought you were a king. Oh no, she didn't. Look, I'm gonna fix this. She just put it in the chair. She didn't move it far. Rodney, I appreciate you pointing that out. She's downstairs. Are you watching, Kelly?
No, I'm listening. Not there.
I'm gonna shut that door. She's listening in on our conversations, guys. She's not participating tonight. You moved my belt.
It's my show.
She said it's her shelf. That's all right. I'm gonna get y'all for next week. Next week, I'm gonna have all the trophies up here. It's gonna be all trophies, big trophy. I appreciate you pointing that out, Rodney. Rodney hooked me up, Kelly. He's looking out for me. Frankie. Oh yeah, that's where Zach asked about that. Okay. Let's see. I'm going through these questions. Welcome, Mike. Booster Shield, Wichita Falls. Yeah, that's right. That's where he is. Ches, what's up, man? Appreciate the $20 super chat. Thank for the win this weekend. Thanks, man. We had a blast. I'm gonna show you all that data. Rodney asked, do we circulate water through the heads during the pass or only on turnaround in between rounds? That's it. I don't even turn on that pump when we're about to make a pass or after we make a pass. I do it in the pits. What we do is we loosen that cap out on that overflow, and then I turn on the pump there because that's just a little Holley pump. And that thing builds some pressure because, it's a sealed system. So the pump won't even work if I turn it on with the motor running, if it's got any heat in the motor, just because it's got pressure. It's just one of those things. And it cools down pretty fast. It usually gets about 145, 150 degrees. And we put the fans on it. We put the fan on the little transmission cooler. And then we let it sit there maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And then I'll turn it on and circulate it for probably 30 seconds to a minute because that pump doesn't pump a lot of fluid or doesn't pump a lot of water. And so, and then it gets the hot water into the cooler and I let it sit for a while, turn it off, and just keep doing it. And I usually get it down to like 120 degrees. If it usually goes much colder than that, it usually, especially as it's starting to get cooler nights, it's one of those things that gets it hard to start. If it gets down below 100 degrees, it's a little more difficult to start. So our turnaround time, we can usually turn that thing around in about, usually as long as we got 20 or 30 minutes, usually we're good. So it is definitely, doable, but that definitely helps. And Rodney had a question also. Let me go ahead and get his questions that he had asked too. He'd sent, because one of those pertains to that. He said, what boost control solenoids are we using? And it says, what boost control solenoids and control unit are you using? Are you going through the Holley? Yes, I am using the Holley. The Holley controls everything on the car for the most part now. And now that I've got the Dominator, it is going to end up controlling everything. And so that was one of his questions too. He said, am I still using the leash bump? And I am. Right now, I'm using the Pulse leash, and it works like a charm. I love it. It's a separate box. It's right there. It's easy to manipulate. So when I raise my RPM or my boost, I can easily turn it down because it's just got a couple buttons right there. But I will, now that I've got the Dominator on, and I'm going to get all the sensors and everything on the new car, I'm going to just let the Holley do it. That's what we got Randy's doing, and I'm learning how to use it. And it's not difficult at all, but it's just a little bit more of a learning curve. But let me show you real fast. Let me go back to my screen. Go to Google for Holley boost controllers. I will show you what I have. And this is just an old. These are just that part number 6JJ52 is just a regular control solenoid. It's 12 volts. This is the one that I have right here. It's $70 a piece. So they've gone up. They used to be cheap. I mean, they used to be nothing. They used to be like $25-$30 a piece, but now they've gone up a little bit. So what we have on Randy's, and both of them are controlled by the Holley, but we have the Holley ones on Randy's, and they seem to have a little bit better control. It's the Holley Pro Boost solenoids. It's this little thing here, but you can see the price difference too. You know, this style is what you know, Holley comes the cheaper ones, but these little ones here is apparently the new age stuff, and these are really, really fast, but they're expensive. I mean, so you know, but they seem to work good. But the good thing is they're nice and compact. You've got the you know, the inlet source here. It comes in here, and then you got the out coming here, and then I think there's a vent over there on that side. But these little things, I mean, they work like a champ. It's easy to wire up. You wire them up the exact same way. Yeah, there's a little vent right there. And basically, you know, you got your increased solenoid and then your decreased solenoid. And so this is what goes actually to the top of the wastegate here. So you got your CO2 coming in, this pulses, and then this releases pressure. And then, you know, over in the wastegate down here is where you have your, you know, you got your CO2 pressure sensor. So that is the way, you know, we do that thing. Let's see here. He said, hey to Kelly and Chase too. They say, hey, what's up? How are you? Let's see. When you hook up the vacuum between rounds, do you suck or are you blowing air? We are sucking. So what we do is, if you notice, if you go back to the videos when we're in between rounds, when we actually have the, when we just got the, you know, any of the stuff where we're talking, you can see that both of the vents on the valve covers are off. And I've got that in the bottom of the intake. I have a number 16 AN. So we pull the cap off of it, and that 1 1/4 vacuum line, it goes right over that cap, that male end of the AN, not the cap. We take the cap off, and it sucks air through the actual valve covers. Now, when I first started doing that, I would leave it and just let it suck through the catch can. And so, because I was like, okay, well, I want filtered air. I don't want to get, you know, unfiltered air. Some tracks you're in the dirt, some, you know, it's dusty out. So I was like, I don't want to get dirt in the motor. But what I found is it didn't help. It helped cool down, but in the catch can, it's got all that moisture, all that condensation. It was sucking the moisture and condensation back into the motor instead of clearing the moisture and condensation out. So, I mean, I guess I could, you know, create, when we pull those, if I still wanted to do filtered air, when I take those lines off, I could get 2 caps that go on that have filters on them, so I could still suck in filtered air from the outside. But that's all we're doing. And the other question he had, he said, if you're sucking alcohol fumes through the vacuum, how come it doesn't ignite? That's a very good question. I have no idea why it doesn't just blow up. And because it does, it gets lots of methanol, it gets lots of alcohol, it gets lots of condensation. I guess the spark, the air fuel ratio is just not the right. I guess it's just not the right mixture in there for it to actually, you know, ignite and catch on fire. But that's that when I first started doing it, that's what I thought too. I was like, okay, man, it can't be a good idea sucking the moisture. I mean, it's a wet, dry vac, but sucking the alcohol fumes, you know, through this thing. But luckily, you know, alcohol and, you know, gasoline are not the same as far as how volatile they are. I know, I mean, obviously it will at night, but gasoline vapors, you know, are very, 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 you know, flammable. And alcohol just doesn't have a lot of vapor. You know what I mean? Like when you can smell it a little bit, but it's just not the same. I don't know that I would feel comfortable doing it with a gasoline car. But I mean, you don't get as much gas in the oil either. So I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt it. But I think probably the lucky thing is that the alcohol is just so much less volatile, so much less flammable. But and I appreciate it. He said, best of luck at the track and be safe. Yeah, I appreciate it. We're having fun. We're going to have hopefully a good time with Randy's, you know, this weekend. Let me show you real fast too. Going to the bump box on the Holley. If y'all got some inputs and outputs available on a Dominator or on a regular, I'm gonna show you how we wire that thing up real fast. Let me pull up Randy's data log. So it's pretty simple. So you got your inputs and outputs. So now the other good thing about doing the bump button or the bump and the scramble, Devin Vanderhoof has some really good videos on this. If you want to go to his, okay, I was just making sure y'all could see me. If y'all want to go look at his videos as well, but how you can turn the bump button, you can bump it for your staging, but once you let go to trans brake, now it's your scramble button if you need to scramble. So basically you got the one input coming from your scramble. So you need one input, and then you need an output, and then that's your bump out. And so you see it pulses the negative. And let me show you, Devin Vanderhoof's got some good videos on how to wire this. And if you follow his videos, to a T, it's very, very easy to do it. Bump button is right there. The way you configure this in the Holley is basically you put it on a 20 volt and then you hit configure. That's not where you do it. Hold on. Inputs, bump, 20. Okay, outputs is where you do your bump out. So this is how you actually control how violent it is. Basically, it's 100% on under this voltage here. And then what this does, and that's why you put 20, is because when you press the button, you're a 16 volt system, you want it to, go on. And so basically, this is where we're at on Randy's right now. We're going to probably need that right there is probably going to need to go up a little bit. I'm going to go to 94. And so this is just a duty cycle. And what it does is the higher this number is, 100 means the trans brake is locked tight. It's not going anywhere. And then this is pulsing it, like this one, 94, is pulsing at 6%. Or so it's very, I got confused on that initially. I thought that, the lower that number, the less violent it was. But it's higher the number. So if this was 99, you would barely feel it move. It might not even move. 92, 94, we were on 93, so we're going to save that there. But this is how you configure it. So it's pretty simple. This is the out. And then as far as what you need, it's very, very simple to do this as well. All you need is it's a solid state relay it's a nitrous controller, $66. So it's much cheaper to use this. And basically what you do is you have power coming through, and then you have the negative here. It actually is pulse width minus. That's what you saw when we were looking at the solenoid on the setup, on the pin map, on the outputs. It pulses bump out negative. It's a pulse width negative. And what it does is it pulses the negative here. And so that's the power wire that's going to the trans brake. And so, but it's very important when you're wiring this up that, this has got to be right. It's got to be 100 here. That means that is when the negative is on, it's the solid state relay is closed, and that's the power going to the actual, to the trans brake solenoid. And this thing is fast. I mean, it's a solid state relay, so it's not slow. Sometimes, back in the old day, you had to hold the old headlight, the 5-blade solid state relay. Those things are slow, so they don't operate fast. And so you would have, delay. But this one is not slow at all. So it is definitely, it works. All right, let me look through a couple more of these. Frankie said he might have extra set of 14-inch springs in the shop. I think what we're going to need, Frankie, is I've started seeing on some of these cars, they have the 14-inch spring, and then they have like a little glide spacer that's not actually attached to the coilover, to the threaded part. And then they have like a 4-inch helper spring at the bottom. and it's like a 2-stage, and you can get those. It's a 2.5-inch helper spring. They're pretty cheap. I was looking at them, the other week online when I was trying to figure out front stuff, but it's definitely interesting. But I appreciate it. So Boosted, so yeah, he was saying where he lived. He missed racing up north, SLPR Hoopty. Oh man, yeah, I don't know that I could live up north. That's the thing about the South. I mean, we can race all year long. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's crazy that we race all year, so it's definitely it's not bad at all. Okay, let's see. Well, shoot, I just this thing sucks. My comments, they just suddenly move. Like I'm reading them, and then all of a sudden I'm moved from where. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I'm back where I need to be. Chad said he likes the water in the heads. Yeah, definitely. If you do not have a solid head, put water in the heads. You got to have water in the heads. I cracked 2 or 3 sets of heads. I think it was 2 sets. No, 3. 2. 2 or 3. I don't remember. But they were, castings that if they're supposed to have water in them, you need to put water in them. And that's just, it just is what it is. It's crazy. Wolverine Living said he's got snow up there. Yeah, that's what, man, I couldn't deal with that. The snow in the winter months is tough. It's crazy. 252 list drone. What's up? Somebody from the 252 list. I wonder who this is. I don't know who that is. What's up, man? Yeah, we had a good showing down there. Cam, we had a good final. Cam was making laps. You look on the GoPro on that last race. I mean, we were neck and neck. I mean, it was a very, very tight race. And he flat cut my head off on the tree. I got Jason pretty good on the first round, and I had good lights all day. And even on our test session, it was decent. And then I got it there against Cam, and I was late, dead late. But luckily, I was still able to get the win. SLRP Hoopy said torque boxes are like strippers. They like showing their cracks. You're right. All of a sudden, you'll be like, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, the torque boxes are about ripped out. Especially if you used to run Southside lift bars. They upper torque boxes pulling on it. I mean, they would always be moving. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. Dave asked, what's my anti-squat now? Last time I calculated it, which it changes every time I get under there and measure it. I don't know what's happening. Maybe my measurement techniques are not the best. I am getting old. My eyes are getting bad. So that may be what it is. But it's a little bit over 100%. It's I think it's like 109, 110%. So it definitely is, it's not a lot. You can see it in the left. It does separate some, but it's not real violent on the videos from the left side of the car. Hey John, hope everything is good with the family and extended race family. Man, we're having a blast. We're living the dream. Racing all the time. Zach, are you going with us this weekend? You said you're coming up Saturday.
Yeah. Trying my best.
Okay. It should be a good time. I mean,
what's a Halloween week? So.
Yeah, that's what Kelly and Chase are going to be. They were going to go, but I think Chase is going to go trick or treating up here, which they might come to a track Saturday night. I don't know yet. But it is what it is. They're racing on Sunday also, free entry race. I don't know if Randy, if we run good Friday and Saturday, he may want to do that. If he does, cool. If not, then that's fine too.
Yeah.
Why all the cuts? I don't know what
I think he commented that whenever I was showing the torque boxes.
Oh, the torque boxes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all those cuts are where I cut out all the pinch welds for those torque boxes, all the factory welds that hold those torque boxes in.
All those little spot welds, and dude, that is not fun. I see what you're saying. Yeah. What's up, Ray? Ray had a question too. Scott was the person that had that body for sale. I did not ever email him back either. Let me see if that's all he said. Ray, let's see. Yeah, he said, he was looking for that roller. Or, well, it's not a roller. It's just a caged body. So Scott is the person that had that. I don't know if he's on here tonight yet or not. I haven't seen him. Let's see. John, did you make a decision on Scott's car? Oh, yeah, he knew it was Scott's. Ray, I'm not going to be able to get that car. I'm gonna just have to move forward with what I got. It's just outside my budget right now. Oh, look, Randy's here.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, did you forget about us?
No, I've been trying to get on, and the wife's out of town. Took the really nice iPad.
Oh, right.
And I have the little rinky-dink one with the cracked screen and everything, and so I used to get on my phone, So,
oh, that's funny.
Anyway.
No, that's cool. I'm glad you were able to jump on.
Yeah, if it starts, squeaking and everything, let me know and I'll mute it and all that good stuff.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Cool.
Let's see. So Blythe Life Racing, Blythe the Life Racing. I have the Holley Dominator on mine now. I just recently put that on there. I've had the Holley HP forever, and then I had someone, they were very generous, and they sent me a Dominator, and I sent my Holley actually out today. My Holley HP is going to get 3 days, so they're going to have it Monday, which I've been so busy. I meant to send it off last week, but I just didn't get a chance to. And so I finally got it shipped off today. So luckily one of the listeners and somebody that takes part in our channel a lot, he's building a car, and so I'm going to help him tune his. So I've got the Dominator on it now, still using it basically in the same capacity as the HP. New car is going to get censored to death. It's going to have, shock sensors on it, drive shaft data. It's going to have a G meter. It's going to have, there's some cool stuff out there. If y'all watch, I know a lot of y'all probably watch John Doc's videos, but he's had Matt Gross helping him. And that's the tuner for the Vendetta car. And man, they are sharing some slick knowledge. They're sharing some information, and it's just unbelievable. One of the things they're using to tune with, I don't remember what it's called. It's it's Davis Technologies. It's the VPS, I think they call it. Yeah. But it gives you like a virtual time slip, kind of like the Draggy, but it's also it's got the G meter, and then it's also got it can tell when you're going into a wheelie and pull timing. It is unbelievable. So it's expensive, but soon these cars, very soon, these cars that have all the sensors, all the drive shaft data, all the shock sensors, the G meter, the wheelie sensors, you can have a traction control based on your front wheels and back wheels. Very, very soon, these cars are going to be, you let go of the trans brake button, and it's going to be like driving a Tesla. It's going to do everything for you. So, and that's, I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. It's getting close to where it can do that now. And then, when you don't have to ever let off the gas, and I can promise you, I hadn't seen anybody else talk about it, but at some point, I don't know if it'll happen next year, but the year after that, I'm going to put drive-by-wire on mine. And then you can let the Holley use drive-by-wire. It can change your TPS if it starts detecting wheel speed, or not just boost or timing. How cool would that be for it to just ease off the gas? Drive-by-wire. You let go of the trans brake button, it just goes. Pretty soon we're going to be standing outside the car. They're going to be big remote controls. It's insane. But, the Holley stuff is crazy. Cleve said it need to rent a Turbo John tuner for one night. Yeah, it's bring the car out, man. I don't this Thursday night, tomorrow night, not going to be able to make it to the track. We're going to be doing final touches on Randy's car, getting his ready for the weekend. But bring it out. We'll look at it. You found most of your problem though, what it was last time. So it's coming. It's just a matter of time. Anthony was out there with his little truck, and he had a good time when we were at Galot last time. That was fun with him. He parked over there with us as well. So that was fun. Brian took his transmission apart the other day, and his planetaries were all rusted up and cracked, so he's gonna have to have a set of planetaries. Jules said, big fan. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining in. We got a good racing team. We really have a good time going to the track. We got a lot of stuff happening. As soon as when Zach's car gets done, we're really going to have some action as well. A Rena-John. That's funny. That's what we're doing. Rena-John. That's so Porta John. I'm a Rena-John. T-Bone said the hatch body looks better. I've always been a fan of the coupe, but you know the hatches don't scare me either. It's a race car, so I mean it don't matter. You know, it's just one of those things. Captain Jack, I appreciate it, man. We're trying. We're putting out. We're growing. The channel is growing. I mean, we'll have 18,000 subscribers soon. That's crazy. I never thought in a million years that this thing would, you know, there'd be this many people interested in our racing programs. So it's awesome. We have a good time. Freddie said need to get the trans brake fixed on Cleve's car. Yeah, I mean, trans brake definitely makes a difference. You can foot brake those things up a little bit. You can put a two-step on it and foot brake it, but you got to be at such a low RPM. It'll build a little bit of boost, but it's never, you know, a ton. So it's just one of those things. Rich had a question. What's the steam smoke coming out of the trunk vent of some of these high-end race cars? So what they are doing is they are taking their it's a pretty smart idea. Excuse me. A lot of people are starting to do it. They're taking their big catch cans. And so when you're on a turbo car or when you're on a blower car, you have a lot of blow by. And so you have to have a big catch can. And so one of the problems with a catch can is it's catching your fumes, it's catching your steam, it's catching, you know, any type of oil that's maybe puked out. It's a puke tank. And so if it's in the front of the car, what happens? If it does puke out, it gets on the ground in front of you, you run through it, you crash. And so the reason they put them in the back, you know, in addition to weight, you got more room. You can put a bigger one back there. You can put some big vents on it, and it just makes it so that it's safer as far as you don't get the chance to run over that stuff. If it pushes a head gasket or, you know, knocks a piston out of it, and then all that boost, you know, goes into the bottom of the motor, then you know, it looks like a big steam train in the back, and then it might still oil down the track, but it's behind you instead of in front of you under your wheels. So that's what that is. Not a bad idea at all. You know, I've thought about doing mine like that at some point. Did you talk about, Brian asked, did you talk about the other procedures that work while using alcohol? I don't know what he's talking about there. You're talking about as far as like the maintenance wise, or, you know, what else you need to run alcohol. You know, NTK sensor, if you're on a Holley system, it definitely reads low enough. That's the best. One of the Holley Bosch sensors can read lower, but you know, the NTK can go as low as you want it to for the most part. So do that. The fuel pump, the injectors, you know, of course you got to have adequate line size for the actual, you know, the fuel lines themselves. I mean, there's a lot to it, but in the end, I think alcohol is definitely worth it. Let's see. Tryptophan. What are they talking about? Tryptophan. Is that the sleep stuff that they're talking about from the turkey? I don't know. I'm lost.
They keep changing up how they're saying it.
Do what?
They keep changing up how they're saying it.
I have no idea. Okay. Brian said vacuums the heads or heat the oil, like vacuum heads or heat the oil. Yeah. So when we put the vacuum on it, we're just sucking the air from the under the intake, so in the lifter valley, through the valve covers, and so it's sucking. You know, it's actually pulling all the air from through the heads and then up through the bottom of the motor, through like the cam tunnel and stuff. It's probably pulling through the oil drain backs as well. You know, from the heads. So I mean, it's got a lot of suction in it though, so it's got to be pulling, you know, pretty much from everywhere. So that's what our goal is. You know, Randy's car, he just pulls his off and he puts one on one side of the motor, and it pulls from one head all the way through the motor and then out the other head. I mean, that works fine too. His cools down pretty quick as well. His heads are, the water ports are filled with concrete or block fill, hard block this year. So we don't have any water in his. And the reason his are filled is because they found a couple cracks in the cylinders. And so at that point, you know, you can't put water in them. You can weld them, but that's not going to hold. So you just fill them up with the hard block, and then, you know, they'll be fine, you know, at what we're doing. James, I appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you. That's awesome. Scott Russell, what's up, man? He's late. Did you see Ray was asking about your car? So you may have another potential buyer there. So Ray up there was, asking. So y'all hook up. Send each other some messages. That's a beautiful car Scott got. I went to his Facebook page the other day and was looking at it. Man, it's so pretty. It's so awesome. Cleve said Freddie got it fixed. Okay, the trans brake is fixed. So that's awesome. And they got the header leak fixed. That means it's gonna spool up very fast. One quick RX4 from Sydney, Australia. Appreciate it, man. Hey, what's up? How are you? Thank you for joining in. Rodney asked a question. Can you man, I must be way late on these comments. Can you oversize the pump too much? Aeromotive put my buddy in a 34 gallon per minute pump, and he's just trying to make 1900 rear horsepower on M1. Is there a negative to return most of the fuel? As long as you have a good regulator and you got that return line that is big enough, it will return a lot. Randy, what was your pump? Do you remember what your pump was? It was 25 gallons per minute. And we had we got a big Aeromotive regulator on his 24 made a doggone 34 gallon per minute pump. 34 gallons a minute is a ton.
Yes, that's way a lot. He'll have just as much going back to as he has.
Oh yeah. It's going to heat the fuel up a little bit. Of course, going through the system, but on a 4-second blast, it probably won't make any difference. As long as the regulator can return it, you'll be fine. I mean, you can do the math. 34 gallons per minute. Oh my God, that is a ton of fuel. I mean, that's like a ton. They're anticipating you're going to be making at some point turning it up for sure. They definitely put you on the big size. They may have not had anything in between. I know they have a black, I think it's a hex drive, but I thought it only flowed like 12 or 13, 15 gallons per minute. I didn't even know they had one that flowed 34 gallons a minute. That's crazy. What's up, Dre 856? Yeah, there you go. There's Ray and Scott hooking up. Booster Lucille's in the Air Force. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's where what was Ryan and Kenny were in the air. They were in the Army. Zach's in the Marines. Man, we got people all over on our channel, all in the military. I appreciate all y'all what y'all do. Zach, how much more time you got?
12 years. I've been in 8 years this month.
I can't remember if you told me 10 or 12. 8 years. That's freaking awesome.
Went over 8 years.
And you go ahead and start your YouTube channel so that in 12 years you can have a retirement plan with your YouTube channel.
I need to.
The sooner you start it, the better. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Dre said it sucks to crash a car when you spend all that money. It is. I mean, Randy crashed. Was it last year? Was that last year? Did you bump the wall? Yeah. I mean, it just makes your. And then Brian, he had the crash this year. It doggone just. I mean, when that happens, looking at it, it just makes your belly sink. It just takes your appetite because it does suck. All the hard work. Oh, you showing off the race car?
Showing off the car.
That thing's that's a what is it? Shelby GT350?
Yeah, GT350.
I've got Randy. He went to a driving school with that thing. He gave me all the content, and I still have not downloaded it. I'm gonna download it at some point, put it on for a YouTube video. What was it? It was Shelby Racing School.
It was actually by Ford for buying the car. They took their driving school, and they do the same thing for the ST Explorer, Focus, and the Raptor. If you buy one of their vehicles, and
that's awesome.
It was at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It was in Utah, so that should be illegal. That is the most fun you'll ever have in a vehicle, and it rained the whole time, and I think God was looking out for me because there was a $7,500 deductible, and you had to pay $250 for the coverage, and nobody crashed. Nobody died.
Well, that's a good thing. I can't wait to look at the footage. I need to download it so I can actually watch it because I ain't even watched it yet.
Yeah. You either gonna figure out how to drive really, really good or really, really bad.
Oh, that's funny. That is hilarious.
Yeah,
But yeah, that thing's nice. That's a nice street car. That's the wife's car.
that is the wife's daily driver.
Randy doesn't give the drive it much. He's driven it to a track a couple times. I've tried to talk him into going racing with it, but
No.
he don't want to wreck it.
Yeah, I want to stay married.
I can see that YouTube video now. That would not be good, would it?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be.
Oh, that's funny.
I use a cell phone. I can get up and walk around.
Freddie said he got a 5-pound CO2 bottle and it's full, no need for nitrous. Yeah, I mean CO2. You can get CO2 bottles filled. A 5-pound bottle will last you a long time. But you can get them filled at any paintball shop or any brewery shop. I've got mine filled there, or you can take it to a welding supply shop and you can just swap it out. The first I bought I was so disappointed. I needed it in a hurry. I bought my nice new like $100 shiny 5-pound CO2 bottle. It was all polished. It was pretty, and I was like, sweet. And so I went to. I didn't have time to go. I called the people that could fill it, and they were all like, it's going to take, basically, you got to drop it off to us. So it's going to take us a day because of just how busy they were. And I was like, well, I need it now. So I called the welding supply shop. And he's like, man, we got those. And so, I set my bottle down out there, and the bottle he brought me was a steel bottle. And I was like, no. I was like, man, it's like, that ain't going to work. I was like, do you have an aluminum bottle at least? And he went and got me the aluminum bottle, and it was so beat up. And I was so like, I was like, man, I got a brand new bottle. And he was like, well, we just trade them. And he's like, I mean, you can wait several days and go get this one filled. But I was like, just give me that ugly one. I was like, it fits the car better anyway. It was funny. So Dre wants to race me for my belt. No, you can't race me for my belt. I am not racing. I'm not chancing losing my belt back there. Randy, you missed it. Kelly moved my belt. I didn't even notice it. Rodney pointed it out. He's like, where's the belt?
Oh, wow.
Ain't that messed up? Can you believe Kelly moved my belt?
No, I cannot. What the hell?
She can hear me still.
That is divorce material right there.
Look, it's going, all this stuff right here. I'm going to have all my stuff from outside in the garage up here. Frankie, I don't know what we're going to do on Randy's springs. I don't know what weight we need yet. It's one of those things we're going to try to get it on so that we can, we just got to figure it out, figure out which ones we need. I don't know yet. Let's see. Scott said he spent several $1,000s on it and putting it back together. Oh, Russell. Oh, so Scott's going to put the Mustang back together. Hey, man, I don't blame you. That car is beautiful.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I really appreciate you offering it to me, but I mean, I would have had to butcher it up, and I mean, that's just one of those things. It's just like, you know, you hate to do that to a beautiful car. So that is, you know, not a bad thing at all. Frostback building a 93 Fox hatchback, 4.8 with a 78-75 turbo. Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be nice and fast. That's always fun. Scott Russell. Oh yeah, Ray was just asking about, you know, the car. What do you think about 4-lug axles, and what are you using aftermarket? I've got a video out there from last year. I use Moser axles, and I've got 35 spline axles. And the good thing about Mosers, you know, Stranges are good too. But the good thing about a Moser axle is if you break an axle, they have a lifetime warranty if you just flat break it. You got to keep all your paperwork. You got to keep your, you know, your proof of purchase, where you purchased it from. So if you buy a 35 spline axle kit, put 5/8 studs in it. I have never broken a stud. I might break some next weekend, but so far, 4-lug, 5/8 studs, the axle will break before the studs. I've broken 2 35 spline axles. And, you know, it's from radials. It goes into tire shake, and the tire shake just kills them. And they usually break right into splines. But both times they broke, I called Moser, and Moser said, send them back to me. And they sent me new axles each time. So, I mean, I don't know if Strange has that same type of warranty or not. But Moser 35 spline axles, 4 lug with the 5/8 studs, and you can go fast with those. I mean, I've been a 108 60 foot a couple times. It used to consistently go on radials 110 to 112. Right now, I've gone on 118 several times with my slicks. Man, you know what's funny? That 118 60 foot on those slicks feels way faster than that on radials.
Sure does.
The radials at 108, I mean, it sucked you back a little bit, but I mean, those slicks, man, 118 feels faster. Maybe it's just because I ain't been that fast in a long time. And I forgot what it feels like to go. I mean,
it's been a long summer in the 20s, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? This no prep stuff is definitely shaking your world. I mean, just trying to go so slow is crazy. It's insane. Holley's still in fuel tech design. I don't know anything about fuel tech. I've never used it. I've looked at a few videos, but the price was a little out of reach. Fuel tech is, you just got to jump right in. I don't think they're cheaper versions. Like the Holley, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I got in Holley. I mean, the only reason I got into Holley, the only reason I got into fuel injection was because I had somebody that was they were fed up with fuel injection. I had carburetor with MSD power grid stuff, and he was fed up with Holley trying to learn it because he was trying to learn it from scratch. And so we just traded. If he wouldn't have traded me, I'd probably still be carburetor blow through, honestly. I mean, just because I was just hesitant to go EFI. I didn't know that I could do it. I didn't have the confidence to do it. And I was like, man, what if I spend, $2,500, $3,000 on this stuff and I can't freaking do it? I can't get it to work. So, it's just one of those things. But it worked out good. I mean, I'm glad it's definitely, worked. Oh shoot! All my stuff just jumped again. Come on! I hate the way this does this. I don't know why it does it. It's like my. It's like something happens. I hit a button, and then all my comments just rearrange themselves. Can you talk about this show? How did you rev the limiter on the V6 in the advanced table? Wanting to make sure I did it right. Yeah, let me show you real fast. I'm talking about the rolling rev limiter. Hold on. This thing works like a doggone champ. You can see it in the data logs that we got. So just go into the advanced table. It's a 1D table. It's right there. It is. Oh, and y'all know what sucks? Last week when we were going over all those math channel stuff, somehow I cleared my math channels. So my converter slip formula and my per hour formula are gone now. I was so mad. I saw that earlier today. I was like, where did they go? I'm going to have to redo those. So basically, you enable the table. It's a rev limiter 1 offset. You use boost on your x-axis. It's a switched enable. So it's only enabled when the trans brake is enabled. So that's the only time it's enabled. And the way I've got mine now is this is on Randy's car. His car is a little slower spooling than mine. But I've got his at 0.5 pound where it goes off and on. So it adds 800 RPM to the rev limiter while it's on the tube step. And then when it gets to 7 pounds of boost, it's at 800 RPM over, so 5,000 RPM. And then at 7.5 pounds of boost, it takes that rev limiter down. On mine, I've got mine spread apart at 1 pound increments. And mine's fine. It still does the same thing, but because my turbo spools up fast. But on Randy's, let me show you what happens if I have it on 1 pound apart on his. What it does is it does not let's see if that one's on. See this right here? That was 1 pound, and so it didn't make it. So the RPM, it wouldn't come down. It was trying to, but it couldn't get to the right boost to turn it off. So at a 0.5 pound increment, it actually works exactly like it's supposed to on his. You can see it drop. And so it come down, and so it still didn't drop down enough. I might have to do a 1/4 pound increment. See, it didn't. If you look at the boost right there, It didn't quite make it the 7 pounds. It was trying to get there, but it couldn't never make it. Now the last pass that we did when it spun, I think that's when I changed it. So no, I've already got it changed. That's when it spun. That's when you can see the definite drop. See that definite drop there? It comes up and it hits 5,000, 5,100. And then it got to, I turned it down, so it got to 6.5 pounds of boost. And see it drop down. And Randy, you could feel that in the car, and we could hear it outside.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's, definitely, not a bad thing. And then, and it works. And mine, mine does I think mine's spread, one apart. And you see mine is here and then it drops down. This is just where I pedaled the car from where it was taking a little longer to stage. His car was spooling up a little slower. But my car, it freaking spools up like gangbusters with it like this, but it's adding a bunch of RPM. Like it added, it was 4,500 RPM. And then when it got to 7 pounds of boost, it dropped down. Which you can see, mine still had that little, it was not as quick of a drop, but this thing spools up fast. Mine spools up really fast. It got to the limiter. That whole deal was 5 seconds long there, but it had, I could leave on that, 3.5, 4 seconds on mine. Let's see. So that is the way you do that. Let's see, where you running your fuel pump, is it mechanical, off the block, belt drive? Chaz, mine is a belt drive. Mine is just got a belt system. If you go to Alki Digger, they've got a whole bunch of different designs. Like Brian, his is cam drive. So he's got on his front timing cover, he's got the pump mounted right there, and it's backwards. Mine is, just off to the side by a belt. Randy's is actually off of his oil pump, his external oil pump. So there's a bunch of different ways you can drive these things. It's very, very easy to do it. Let's see. There's Rodney and Scott talking. Yeah, that I really appreciate Scott too offering me that car. I'm glad he's going to build it back. He was going to build a tube chassis car, but that must not have worked out the way he wanted to. Lisa, my friend, that's how we have the springs on the rear of Nigel's car. Has a small spring to keep the slack out of it, full separation. Yes, Boost is my friend. Nigel's car. That is, they've got the record setting. I don't remember the name of their YouTube channel. They just went 427, I think it was. What did they go with that? With the stock block LS motor.
429.
429. God, that is freaking flying, son. They crashed that car. Was it 429? No Mercy? Man, that thing is super, super fast. So, okay, that's it. The little small helper spring down at the bottom at full separation. And they got that thing super fast. It is working like a doggone champ. That car, I'm glad it come back together. They've done a lot of work to that car. It sucks to see there again when they wreck and crash. But that thing is a rocket. It looks like it's going to go teens on a stock block. I don't know what the record is all out, but they are going to be one of the contenders. Nicholas said it was a -5 degrees last weekend. Just upgraded from the Terminator and the 80-pound injectors to HP 160s. Can't even drive it. Yeah, that sucks. That's the bad thing about wintertime. Did you buy your wiring harness? I did. I bought my wiring harness. Looking to convert the Holley Dominator, trying to see if I can get everything all in one. Yeah, you can go to Holley. It's like a la carte at Holley's website. Basically, you just go and you just hit on it, and it's not a big deal at all. And you just tell it what your engine combination is. Your input output harnesses. The main harness stuff is easy. The injector harnesses, if you're going to do coil on plug, it is super, 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 super easy to do it. Jeffrey, what's up, man? How are y'all? New build is still in the planning stage. It is it's going to be coming though. We've got a lot of work to do on it. It's going to be Hopefully going to the chassis shop in the next, probably in the next few weeks, hopefully. It just depends. But first thing we got to do is get the cage in it. And once we get the cage in it, then it's just going to be a matter of, working everything, getting everything tossed over from the hot rod we got now in there. Motor wise, motor, transmission, turbo kit, all that stuff's coming over. We're going to put the 9-inch in it, that I got from Zach. All the we're going to redo the wire and harness stuff in mine. As far as like the stuff that I can change, I'm trying to get rid of all my red wires under my carpet. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It ain't gonna be nice for long. I mean, it's like Randy's. When I wired Randy's car, it looked actually decent up under there, and then you start having problems, and you just cut all of it apart, and then. I mean, we just you have to hunt down the stuff. So I mean, it's just crazy. Scott, I appreciate you watching the channel. We have fun. We have a good time doing it. Randy, you voted yet? Boost is my friend.
I'm to vote on the place that there's a really small community, so you can walk right in and walk out.
Rodney says 6-second Randy Eller in the house. Man, how am I so far behind on comments? I just now noticed that I can see comments at the time they were posted. I'm like 30 minutes behind on comments. Rodney posted that comment at 10:18, and it is 10:49. How am I so far behind on my comments? Okay, I am something.
Because you get off on your tangents.
Yeah, me and my blabbery mouth. Go figure. I mean, I don't like to talk any at all, do I? And it's funny, after these Thursday night things, we on here for a couple hours usually, and I get off and I can't talk. My voice is just all. It's like it's just all, my throat's all hurting. I'm like, I got the Rona. I'm like, I can't talk. But it's crazy. Alan Jones said he just got some slicks 3055 stiffs. That's 28 by 10 and a half non-W. With tubes, so that's good. Set at 110% AFCO, double adjustable coilovers. Where would you start on shock settings? 3,100 pounds. 59% on the nose. You're gonna have to add some weight on the back of the car. That is very, 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 very nose heavy. Mine, with the weight in the car of mine now, I've got like mine is I think I'm at 52 or 53% on the nose. So mine is up there. And shock settings on mine at 110%, it's going to try to separate some. Right now, my shock settings are, I can't remember on my slicks. Let's see. I'll tell you real fast. Let me pull up my run real quick. Shoot. I can't remember what they are. Do you remember what they are, Zach?
No, you probably changed them since the last time I said them.
We've been changing them quite a bit. Go figure, right? We don't ever change. We don't ever change anything.
Hey, you didn't change anything this last race.
No, I did a good job maintaining. I can't remember. I think they're on. Man, I can't remember. They're in my notes here somewhere. They're all in. I need to recount those because I don't have the rear shock settings any on this version 6 stuff. It's all on my version 5 stuff. Was the last time we were setting them and we got them close. Let's see. I'm looking back through. I don't remember. Let me see if I can pull up my version 5 real fast. Can y'all see my page? No, y'all can't see it. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, let's go to version 5 real fast. Yeah, I hate that I messed up my doggone. Oh, I was on version 4. I wasn't even on version 5. God, look, I can't even remember. Man, this stuff is just. I'm getting old. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we got a shock setting in there.
I want to say 8 and 8 for some reason.
Yeah, I think we were 8 and 12 or 8 and 10. We tried so many different things. I don't remember where we ended up though. Coastal Plains, no prep. Let's see here. I don't remember. Every car is going to be different, but with 110% anti-squat, the thing with a radial, we'll just talk about it real fast. So the thing with a radial is you want it to separate kind of fast. So you're going to have rebound on the looser side, right? So that it squats and plants the tire. It doesn't squat, but it separates, plants the tire, and then you have the compression really tight so that it can't rebound up into the car. So I shouldn't use the word rebound because that's confusing. So it doesn't go back up into the car. It doesn't compress the shock back. So you have really loose extension, pops up, pops down, and then it stays down. So really tight compression. On a slick, what I found running a slick is kind of the opposite, but not fully the opposite. Because if you let it separate and plant too fast and too hard, it wads the slick up. And mine still does it somewhat. If you look at the video, you slow the videos down when we're on slick. Even when I had 60% anti-squat, this thing the first movement was the rear end would go down. And then it would go down, and then a body would fall on top of it. So what happens, you got to stop that. So you want to stop that initial separation. So you tighten up extension. Now, if you get it too tight, then it's a problem. You got to make sure that the slick, the sidewall is very soft. So you don't want the thing if your shock is locked out and it's tight, then what will happen is the tire will become the shock, and then it starts bouncing and getting out of control and tire shaking. So that's a problem. So on a slick with 110%, you want to slow this down. So you're going to be a little bit tighter on rebound. And then compression is kind of the same thing. It depends on what you're trying to get the car to do. If it's slowly going down and the car is kind of coming up, you're going to probably want about the same rebound setting or the compression setting, because you're going to want it to kind of keep the tire planted. The problem with a slick and that low air pressure, and I've seen it on rough tracks, if you're on a rough track and you got compression too tight, then the slick 100% becomes a shock. And so what happens is it gets rough, it hits the rough spot, and then the tire starts bouncing, it tire shakes, and then you're done. It doesn't matter where that is on the track, it'll happen. So the compression side on the slick, I think, needs to be a little bit softer. I'll find next time we're at the track with my car, I'm going to, hey, Kelly, my battery's about to go dead. Can you bring me my charger? Sorry, guys. I'm going to show her the belt when she gets up here, just in case you didn't notice. Okay, so start with the extension, the rebound a little bit tighter, and the compression a little bit softer. And then next time I do a video on my car, look at the video, and I'm going to show y'all exactly what my settings are. Now, something that I did also with my car is my car was steering. Randy and Zach, I don't even know if I told y'all this. My car was going left. I've staggered my shock settings. So one of my shocks is a little bit stiffer. Kelly, you see that?
No, I don't see.
You see that, Kelly? Kelly? Look, you better look.
See what?
She stole my belt. She stole my belt.
Oh, jeez.
That's okay. You take it down there. Hey, I'm gonna put it. We're gonna put it in the bed.
How about right there?
You already plugged me in.
Of course I did.
Oh, thank you. We're gonna sleep with that belt.
You're gonna sleep with that belt.
Okay, I'm gonna sleep upstairs apparently. Okay, sorry, but You gonna put it back?
No. I'll just hold on to it.
Okay, you can hold on to it.
I'll wear it.
Throw it across your shoulder like WWE style.
This is my belt now.
You ought to crack it.
What, Randy?
You ought to crack you in the back of the head with that thing.
It's actually pretty darn heavy. Tell me, how does it?
I know, right? It is heavy. I mean, that thing is like legit, like real belt, like real metal.
All right, so you hang up, and then it's going down. I think this should go in the beautiful place you have all of your other trophies, the garage.
It's in the garage where I don't ever see them.
Is that my fault?
She's gonna make me create my own little studio area.
No, I was on the other day when I was working from home with a vendor interviewing them, and they said after a few minutes they got distracted and they're like, I gotta ask, why is there a belt?
That's funny. You didn't tell me that.
That's why I took it down.
That's hilarious. That's great though. That's good talking. Good talking.
Uh-huh.
Well, my husband drag races.
Well, they all follow you now, so there you go.
Oh, so perfect. I can get some viewership. All right. Thank you for bringing me on board. Sorry, guys. Sorry, we got distracted. Scott Russell. Yeah, VPS is what it is. There again, I'm like 30 minutes behind conversation. Davis Technology, VPS, Vehicle Position Sensor. Randy Ellercar, his car actually has a Davis profiler on it. It's a profiler, but it is currently not hooked up. But we need to hook it up at some point. So Randy, I was looking back through the MSD 600 instructions the other day. And when you decide to hook up the profiler, remember I told you there was a different connector?
Yeah.
So it's not only a different connector; it's got to be repinned with a different firing order. So Randy Haywood's going to have to repin it. So yeah, I mean, just whenever you start doing it. Rodney said, "Yeah, Matt is one super smart guy, and he thinks outside the box." That's right. I mean, he does. I haven't ever met him and talked to him in person. He's been drive-by wire. He's talking about it too. That's me and him could probably have many long conversations, from what it sounds like. But yeah, he seems like a good dude, and I mean, very, very, very smart. Very articulate, easy to listen to, and he's on John Doc's channel. He's giving away lots of free information. When he's talking about it. I mean, I love watching him and talking to him. So let's see. Ches said, "Moving fast, must know what you got." Another one coming. So yeah, Randy's is coming pretty quick. What gear set does Brian have in the Power Glad? Brian's is a 158. I've got a 180 in mine. Randy's got the he had 169 at one point. No, you had 169 and then went to a 158. No, you had a 180. No, you had a 180 and then went to the 158.
But now I'm at
now Randy's got the Turbo 400. Randy's Turbo 400 has 140, I think it was. What's up, guys? Old man. Let's see. Potential boost leak. Ray, I don't remember seeing that. I'm way behind on my. Hold on. Let me go back to my. So we had a question from Joseph about dynamic compression ratio. So he's playing. He wants it to be naturally aspirated now. So and then add boost later. And so his question is does it make more power with more dynamic compression ratio naturally aspirated? And the answer is yes. So static compression ratio and dynamic compression ratio. Dynamic is more important. That's your running compression. That's more important than your static. It's determined by your camshaft is what helps determine that, the overlap. And so the big thing is, the thing that you have to be careful of is in the situation you're in, you're going to be naturally aspirated for a little while. And so I understand you want to go as fast as you can with no boost or naturally aspirated or very, very little boost for some reason now. And then later just put a turbo on it or a blower. And that can be very problematic. What I would do if I were in your shoes I would say you got to make a decision. I am going to be boosted in 6 months, or I'm going to have a turbo in the car in 6 months, and build the car now for the turbos of the camshaft, the compression, the dynamic compression ratio, getting everything the way it is supposed to be, the way everything is supposed to be on boost, and then just simply understand that it's going to be a turtle without this stuff, without the boost. It's just going to be. Milton just sent me a message and said he wasn't invited to get on. I forgot to send Milton an invite. I don't know. I need to get Milton on too. Milton's always at the track with us. So is Brandon. I hadn't. Brandon needs to get on too. We can get up to like 5 or 6 people on here. But so what I would do, Joseph, is build the motor, knowing that you're going to be having boost on it later, and that it's just going to be a turtle now. And it just is what it is. Because if you build it natural aspirated for the most power, then you're going to have to change stuff when you go boost. And if you compromise now, if you try to go in the middle, then you probably won't be as happy with it later on when you put boost on it. So it's just one of those things. That's what you're going to have to do. Scott said methanol fumes are flammable. That's the main reason the tank is in the back. Yeah, they are. And I don't think they're as flammable as gasoline. That's going back to a conversation we had 30 minutes ago because I'm so far behind for some reason. Randy, do you remember when Carl's car, his catch can caught on fire?
Milton Hunter.
Yeah, Milton.
Hunter?
Yeah.
Outside in like.
Were you at Darlington when that happened, Randy? Randy.
You're muted, Randy.
I don't know if he can hear me. But my buddy Carl Simmons, the white car, Oreo car, I was helping him tune it. I was in the driver's seat, and his catch can was under the cowl, which I don't think was a very good place to put it. But I was tuning it, it backfired, and then all of a sudden the front windshield started fogging up. And so it definitely it caught on fire. The catch can was on fire. I forgot about that. But that happened, and we were able to get it put out before the whole car burnt down. But he moved his catch can. But yeah, so that is definitely one of those things that was a scary deal. But let's see. Dylan said he saw you in Benson. Yeah, we're racing a bunch. We are racing a ton. Yeah, everybody hit the like button. Let's see. I'm gonna have to miss some of these questions. Hey Randy, boss, when you get beat Shelby Super Snakes with a wide body, take him to shocking bays multiple times, spending close to $200,000. It's crazy. Let's see. I've got some more questions over here in this thing. Dusted74, he was asking about camera recording. He said that his friends are not as good as what my friends are about getting data, getting video, and it's a learning curve, isn't it, guys? I mean, we are. I mean, when we first started racing together, I mean, you got to all be. It takes a while to get a good team together to where everybody's getting the perfect video every time, so you can get good data. And what I would suggest is they make a tripods for these GoPros or for your cameras. If you've got somebody that is not as good now, get on the driver's side. You want to be able to see the whole side of the car at an angle, about a 30-degree angle, 45-degree angle maybe. Just get a tripod, set it on the ground, get your guy to set it on the ground, and then that way it's nice and stable. And then when you take off, the first 60 feet is all you need to see. Anything past that's just a bonus, but the first 60 feet is where it is the most important. So it's just that's the easiest way to do it. And then get your guys to start seeing what you are looking at, and then that way you can do a pretty good job. Okay, Scott he'd sent me some pictures with the Aeromotive fuel pump. Oh my goodness, that thing is like crazy. No, I have never seen one of those at all.
You've got people on who aren't members.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just make sure you tell them happy friend.
Yeah. Kelly was just mentioning, we just realized that we have some people on that are not members. This is normally a members only chat.
I messed up.
And but this is awesome. We did this the other week where we just opened it up to everybody. And so if y'all want to become a member, it's like $5 a month. We do this once a week, every Wednesday night, usually for a couple hours. Usually we start about 9 o'clock and we go for a couple hours. That's how I got so many questions, and I'm so far behind though.
I know, and that's what Chase just told me. And remember, I posted it accidentally public, and then I
did
it, but it must have kept going public.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. It's not a big deal.
Everybody got a free one.
Yeah, so this is fun. We were going to do this in a couple weeks anyway. So, I mean, there's a free one as always, or just opening it up to everybody where we're going. But that explains why we got overwhelmed a little bit. I was not expecting all these comments, and I'm still behind.
Yeah, but
okay.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, no, it's 11 o'clock. Okay, yeah, Scott. Okay, I'm finally caught up. And Scott said, "That's a good point. Gasoline vapors are not flammable; they're explosive." That is a very, very good setting. Dale said the main rev limiter was set where on your settings. Dale, I'll show you what I'll show you how I've got mine real fast. So mine, this is Randy's. So basically, you just go into your normal ignition parameter. So like Randy's is 4400 for the normal two-step, and then when you go into the advanced table on your V1, on your D1 table, then that's going to add 800 RPMs to that. And so this is just how it works. Mine is, when you look at mine, I don't think mine is that far apart because my little turbo spools up so much, quicker than Randy's. I got my chip, my two-step on 4000, and then when you go to the advanced table in the version 6, mine is 600. So mine's 4600. So it depends on, the converter, and you can hear it. I mean, if you go back to Randy's last Thursday night where we run his personal best, that's what we actually labeled that video is new personal best. When we you can hear the last pass, it just comes up and it bangs, and then it goes, it changes tone. So one of the things, I don't know if y'all follow Pete Harold much. He's super, super good tuner as well. There's a lot of good tuners out there. I mean, Kevin Mullins is great. Pete Harold's good. Mark Rogers and them. So Pete and them, I think they have been doing this for a while. Because Mark Rogers, I think he holds the Ultra Street record, or he's one of the fastest ones. He's got a little mod motor, but when you hear his car spool up, it would always, for the last probably 6 months or a year, it would come up and go, ooh, and it sounded like it goes like 5,500 RPM, and then before he bumps in, it drops RPM. And so it worked like a doggone champ, and I was like, how are they doing that? So I don't know if they were able to figure out how to do an advanced table, before everybody else. But that's what I told Randy. One of the things with a turbo car, with him coming from a blower car, it's just you roll in, mat it to the floor, you're ready to go. Turbo car is not that easy. So you got to actually stage it. You got to actually bump in and then, come up and go. And so that's what I told Randy. I was like, this is going to allow us this is going to be your point where okay, the car is ready is when you hear it change RPMs. And there, the first couple times when I was playing with it, you couldn't really hear it because it wasn't doing it like I was, wanting it to do. But that last one, he could definitely tell it and hear it and feel it in the car. And so that's what we wanted to do. So, it's definitely, it works. So it's not a bad at all. So Scott, I'll show that picture. I'll show that picture a little later. It's a clutch. Well, shoot, now it just moved. My comments are always, I don't know why they're doing that. It's a clutch drive for a mechanical pump. Send me a link and I'll explain it if you have any interest. Streetcar stuff. Scott, can we do that? Let's do that next week. He has a big mechanical fuel pump, and it has a clutch system, a clutch drive. I cannot wait to hear how that is. So that is, Rodney, that may be something Well, I don't know if that's a race car that you're. I have never heard of that. Scott, yeah, let's. So next Wednesday night, I'm gonna get you on, and then you can explain it, and I'll show all the pictures and stuff next week. Oh, there's Milton. What's up, Milton?
What's up?
How are you? I need to send Brandon a link too. I forgot to send him a link. But we do this every Wednesday night. Milton's like, I told Milton I was going to add him, and I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, most of the time y'all doing this, I'm just getting off work.
Yeah, he works late at night usually. But yeah, we need to get you on here. That's okay. Randy jumps on when he usually gets off too, or whenever he gets back from doing whatever he's doing. Well, shoot, last week I was by myself all week. I didn't have nobody jump on last week.
Really?
Yeah, I was asleep.
My crowd hung me out. Zach was asleep. He's trying to catch up on day shift. Randy was he was at what's his name's house? David Brinkley's all night.
Randy's been muted this whole time, just talking his head off.
Oh, has he?
Really?
Randy, you muted. I was wondering why he was so quiet. I didn't know what he. I can't.
Yeah. My phone was going dead, so I had to come run to the kitchen and plug it in.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And but yeah, I was at David Brinkley's last week, and I had no service out there, and he's trying to keep everything top secret anyway.
Oh, he ain't sharing no information.
I was gonna do reporting live for Turbo John Racing.
That would have been actually great. I'm surprised he didn't let you do that because I mean the car is right now, so it's a shell, ain't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a shell. That's all it is. I think when there's a little bit more to it, then he'll be real cool with it.
That is funny. That is funny. Milton, you're going to Piedmont this weekend?
Yes. I'm leaving Friday afternoon.
Okay, that's the same thing with us. We're going to be. I'm taking the motorhome, so Kelly and Chase are not going. So we got room for. All of us should be able to get on there. I mean,
I gotta find a vehicle to get there.
Oh, you ain't got no vehicle?
I just thought about it. I sold my Tahoe today.
You need to hitch a ride with Randy when Randy leaves Friday morning. Oh, you don't live close to him no more.
Nope, I don't live close to him anymore.
Get an Uber. Get an Uber.
Get an Uber.
Might have to rent a vehicle that day. Brooke ain't gonna let me take her car all day and night.
I didn't think about that. Zach sold his. I could get her if you can get her to meet. We can meet somewhere halfway from Smithfield to Jacksonville, and then you can just hop in the car with me.
May do that.
We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. But that's gonna be Friday afternoon. But we're gonna take the motor home. So we've got we can sleep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can sleep 5 of us. So I mean that's unless y'all want to snuggle up. I ain't snuggling up. It's gonna be cold, but I'm gonna just turn on the heat. I ain't doing no snuggling. But 2 on the air mattress and 1 on each couch, and then I've got the 1 bed in the back. All right, sorry. But yeah, so we're gonna have fun this weekend. We're gonna be going. Ryan said Gladys a freebie keeping you awake riding from Georgia to Fayetteville. But Ryan, you need to join us for our weekly ones. It's fun. We have a good time. We usually have 20 or 30, 40 people on there. Dale said TKM everywhere. Yeah, Kevin's a smart dude. We had a blast on the dyno. The hub dyno was definitely a good tool. Scott said only 6 of those drives exist. Yeah, I have never seen one of those. So next week we're going to get Scott to show us some pictures. He just sent me a bunch of pictures, so we'll show the pictures and we'll let Scott talk about it and give us the rundown on a clutch drive fuel pump. That's crazy. That is insane. I can't wait to hear how that works and how that is going to, that is interesting. That is very interesting. Data Smith said, "Congrats, Randy. Your car's a beast." Randy, what's our ET goal this weekend? What's your ET goal this weekend?
Man, I just hope it starts and goes back in the trailer under some power. So we'll be competitive and have a good time. But 320s.
So Randy's goals are exceeding my goals. His goals have superseded what I think is possible at the moment. But I did build a pretty good tune-up. Let me show y'all what I did on the tune-up. And we'll show you. Let me go in real fast on his.
I thought I was muted for all that stuff. Sorry.
I didn't realize you were muted either, Randy.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
No, I meant the actual number I actually said.
Okay, so Randy's this is his tune-up that we got now. So leaving on 15 pounds of dome pressure, which it doesn't make that much. But I got 50 pounds of dome pressure in it. This is the run that spun. This should have been like a 35 pass when it went. We only have 45 pounds of dome pressure at this same point on the previous run where we went to 447. And something else that we had some issues with that pass. We changed the transmission fluid, and I don't know if it was a little bit low. There's Mark Mickey said we could have had a pressure problem because of the way I was turning off one of these valves. Like we got one valve spool. It's got two external spool valves and one internal spool valve, and so this is where the first one turned off, and then the second one I was turning off at half a second. So he said this converter looks loose through here. So what I'm doing now is, he suggested just turning both of them off on the trans brake, which I had that same thought process. But if you look at Randy's, look how flat this boost is. I mean, it got to launch boost in 3 seconds. So, this is minus 4 seconds. So all this bumping in stuff, it don't have to change much. Once it gets there, I mean, once it comes up in RPM, it spools up fine once it gets the RPM to it. But his, it left on 6.8 PSI, and then it comes up and rolls up, flashes the converter a little bit. But then there was my target. I made 45 pounds of target at 1.7 seconds, and now we're going to have 50. And you see this turbo is not very far behind the curve, but then we ended up making 27 pounds of boost, and it went through. This right here, this is a problem, though. This is what he thinks. Maybe we had a pressure problem, or, we were a little low on fluid where we changed the fluid. Maybe we didn't get enough in it. The previous passes, it dropped straight down, but you can see this time it just rolled into high gear. This is 7,700 RPM, and it took about 3/4 of a second or a second to get there. I mean, that's a problem. So we got to get this out. If this is still here this weekend, we're going to have to pull a transmission out, and it's going to have to get gone through by somebody. We didn't find a lot of material in the pan, so everything looks fine in the pan, but that is, not good, taking that long to shift. But we're going to shift it about 8,000, and you can see we went through the traps. I mean, we went through the finish line was right about here, 8,300 RPM. You can see the torque converter is locking up nice and tight down track. I mean, we got 1% slip, but we're it's one of those things. We changed the gear. We thought we were going to put a 370 in it, but Randy bought a 370, but for some reason we can't find the 370 now, so he had a 388. So we went from a 410 to a 388. According to the math, if you go to Wallace Racing calculators, this same RPM ought to be able to run about 180 miles per hour, 8,500 RPM. So, I talked to Kevin about RPM. He said he would prefer to keep the motor 8,000, 8,200. He said that it's not because the motor won't make horsepower at 8,500, 87, 8,800 RPM, but, it becomes a longevity issue on your parts. And so we're probably going to end up putting a 370 gear in it at some point. But the thing is about gear ratio. I mean, he's got a 141st gear. We should be able to get a better 60 foot out of this thing at some point. I mean, we only went a 122 60 foot when we went this ET that we went here, and I mean, so it's got some potential to go really fast. I mean, especially with that being basically the third pass with the turbo. That is the third pass, isn't it? First two passes, we were on 7 cylinders. Third pass, we went a 447 at 169. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. And then I got stupid and we spun.
I think the compression is 12.5 to 1.
12.5 to 1.
Saw somebody.
That's up there.
Somebody asked to comment on.
And we don't have any timing in the motor. As we start leaning on it, we're definitely going to start. We're going to start pulling plugs every pass. Milton and Zach, probably Friday, we need to go through the valves again. We didn't pull the valve covers off on those 2 passes at all. Is Justin planning on coming too, Randy? Have you talked to Justin?
Saturday.
He's coming Saturday?
Yeah, he'll be there Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is our valve trained man. He can freaking, dude, he's a man, dude, he's good with the valve train stuff. He's an awesome mechanic. So yeah, Randy's car, Rodney said, John, you're gonna be snuggling with that belt if I keep on messing with Kelly. It's just gonna be me and the belt. No Kelly. Kelly's not gonna be around. She's gonna be in the other room. No, I'll be in the doghouse. She'll be in the bed with the comfortable mattress. I'll be in the one that's for the guests where it's hard. I just thought about that. That's exactly what happens when people get the cheap mattresses so their guests don't stay for a long time. Is that what people do? Ronnie asked, we've been into 20s. What's our personal best with the blower, Randy, on your car?
430 flat at 174.
430 flat at 174. And what did we go? We went 108, 109, 60 foot? 109,
108.
I don't remember.
110, 109. 108.
We've
been several.
I've got some old data logs. We ain't got much more time. But Randy's motor, that 430 pass, it was on 50 pounds of boost, 48 pounds of boost.
50.
Yeah, it had some boost to it. So it was crazy. Yeah, Randy's car now we're 6.8. My goal on Randy's car is hopefully at Piedmont the track's nice and sticky. As long as they don't get a ton of rain tomorrow, and it's got a good rubber base, we're going to try to leave about 7.5, 8 pounds of boost. We may be able to leave at 9 or 10 at some point. It's just going to be interesting. Dale said you want to turn them off before you release the converter on the brake. Yeah, that's right. So it can catch up. When we first got this thing, what Mark Meeky is doing on his car, the internal dump is mandatory, but the internal dump's got to be back on before you let go of the trans brake at least a half a second. He said the external dumps, he said that he uses them on his car to stagger how hard it hits the converter. So if he's on a track, when we talked to him, we were at Darlington. He said, so I'm here at Darlington. He's got my external ones. He said they're going off at 1 second. And, that way it doesn't hit the converter. It doesn't hit the tires hard. He said when he goes to Georgia, he said basically they turn off before he lets go of trans brake like you're talking about. So, his stuff is a completely different animal. But so that's what we're going to try. Hopefully that's going to be, it's going to be fine. We'll see. So yeah, we'll see how it works out. 27 pounds of boost is flying for what it is. I think once we get the boost turned up to 40 pounds of boost, 45 pounds of boost, or 50 pounds of boost, or 55 pounds of boost, whatever it takes to run 4 O's, it's going to fly. That's our goal. Is to go really fast. That's the small block boost cars are going to be really fast, so we got to go fast too. It's just one of those things. Scott said, "Is it possible? Is it possible the wastegate is being blown open when the engine's loading on the shift?" I guess it could be, but the boost and the back pressure is staying pretty consistent. We're not seeing a drop in boost or back pressure. Let me look at that pass again. Let me pull it up real fast. Where's it at? There it is. I thought I lost it. I was about to say, shoot, I done deleted it too. Okay. See, his boost is still rock solid. So boost didn't do anything crazy. And then if you look at back pressure is kind of erratic, but you can see the back pressure is right here. It's fairly stable. Back pressure did drop a little bit there, though. And then the back pressure, spikes back up. I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. The back pressure did that. And see, I've got some erratic readings on my back pressure too. We just got the regular sensor on his, and it is definitely not very smooth. So I think we're gonna have to build a manifold for it to try to absorb some of those pulses. Mine was doing that until I did the pulse thing. I mean, I guess anything's possible. I mean, the wastegate. I mean, the boost once the drive pressure. I don't know. It lost back pressure on. I mean, it's right there on the shift when the RPMs come down. But maybe that was relative because the RPMs were lower, 7,400 versus 7,800 right there, 7,700. I don't know. It's a good thought though. I mean, I don't know what it did. Hopefully, it just starts working. Let's see here. Oh, we lost Randy. Oh no, he's back. We lost. Oh, he's froze. Anybody want to make fun of Randy? Oh no, he's unfroze now. It's a good time to when somebody's froze up, be like, let's see. Rodney said, John, when you had that weird shift on Randy's, wasn't the trans brake wire grounding and ungrounded? No, we had already fixed that. That was we did not make a pass with it like that. We found that out because he did his burnout, went to stop, and the back brakes locked up. And I thought it was because he just jammed on the brakes too hard. And then when it wouldn't come up on the trans brake, it bumped through. We pushed it back to the pits, and we found out what the problem was. And but I mean, it basically it's crazy because the lights, the reverse lights are wired in with the trans brake. So the negative, which that's normally grounded, but I guess when it hit the positive of the emergency turn off, the power switch, it backfed and then it energized the trans brake and made the trans brake lock up. But the brake lights didn't come on because it didn't have a ground, but the trans brake did, lock up for that brief second. So, I mean, it's just definitely one of those things that was crazy. But that was the only pass after that. But we checked transmission fluid and everything seemed fine with the transmission fluid from what I remember. But it was, I checked it. I mean, it's very possible. It's that blue transmission fluid. We use the Castrol blue. It's easier to see than like the clear high guard. But I mean, it's possible that I didn't read the stick right. I'm hoping that it's just low on fluid is what it was. Because the last week before that, we had the transmission stuff the same way, and it shifted fine. But we also didn't make but 20 pounds of boost, 19 pounds of boost. So we made a lot more power. 7 pounds of boost, I don't know, things is a lot. So it's definitely it's crazy. Let's see. Mickle said, does Randy, Milton, and Zach all have YouTube channels? Not yet. I'm trying to convince them to make one. They all need to make one because I'm a firm believer. And John Dock is one of the people that told me this, and I firmly believe it. Still, that the more people that have YouTube channels, in your circle, the more people that build. I mean, the better everybody does. So the more YouTube channels you have, the more content that's out there, and it really is a competition-free zone. Because if Randy and Milton and Randy had channels and they were putting out videos every couple of days like I am, just because you watch Randy's or Milton's or Randy's or Zach's doesn't mean you're not going to watch mine, and vice versa. I mean, everybody's got time. I mean, you're usually making 10 or 12-minute videos, and you want to see what everybody's doing. So it's just. I think it's a win-win. I think the more channels you have, the better. That's why
I'm getting ready to start one. I'm steady trying to think of a name. Think of a name.
You and Milton both are at a perfect point now because y'all are building cars. Neither one of y'all's cars are running at the moment. Randy's is good because he can start showing all of our stuff too that we do. The more channels, the better. I think so. So hopefully they will get some at some point.
But it is hard work.
It is. I mean, it is. Somebody asked me on one of my channels the other day on one of my videos. They were like, "Are you a full-time YouTuber?" And the answer is yes. I'm a full-time YouTuber. this is my full-time second job. I have another full-time job that I do during the day, and it's a lot of work to do YouTube. But it's a lot more. That's what I was telling Kelly. But in the end, if you can get a good retirement plan, that half a cent per view that you generally make, if you got 100,000 viewers, you can bring in $5,000 or $10,000 a month just in your ad revenue. That's a great retirement plan for me. It's just you have to get by that mentality of that half a cent. I'm gonna make a half a cent per view because that's not much, but cumulatively it's a lot. It's got the potential to be anyway. And it's fun. You gotta have fun doing it. I enjoy helping. Anyway, and Rodney agreed with Dale. Need to turn the dumps off, so that's what we're going to try. Scott said if pressure went down, where did it all go? That's why I was wondering if the gate might be pushing itself open. So Scott, we only have we've got the very lightest spring. It's a 1.5 pound spring in that wastegate, but we use all CO2 pressure to hold it. So let's go back. Hold on a second. Let me put y'all back on here with me. Let's see. So let's look at. I need to rearrange this real fast. Let me add CO2. Okay, dome pressure is over on number 2. So let me get boost and back pressure real fast over there to this one. And somehow all my things are getting changed up too. On my little screens here. Let's see. Is back pressure already there? It's already there. So let's go over here real fast, Scott, and we'll go to this this one right here. So this is the transmission pressure. This is the cooler line pressure. This one right here is the actual main line pressure in the actual transmission. And he said that this one he said you normally get a drop in pressure one time on the shift. So he said one of these two shouldn't have been there. And that's exactly, if you look at the old ones, only have one drop in pressure on the shift and you get one spike generally, he said. But even the past last week, you got 2 spikes here. But let's look real fast at, so we got back pressure, boost pressure, and dome pressure. So actual dome pressure is this one up here. So that is not actually dropping. So if we were raising, what I have seen, Scott, if you start trying to blow off a valve, then the dome pressure will actually increase significantly where the valve gets pushed open and it compresses. And it's not, it's staying there. We could do, there's a little bit of a spike right there. But it's not, it's not huge at all. Yeah, those are little baby spikes. And you could look up, I could also pull up a, I could pull up a, somebody. I'm gonna mute. Oh, it must be Zach's. I got muted. But it could be the solenoids are cycling too. I could put that in there. Boost increase and boost decrease solenoid. Let's see. Did I say anything? Chevy starter solenoid spring. Yeah, that's what I've got, Scott. I've got 2 starter solenoid springs out of Chevy starter in mine. I just started a channel. Boost is my friend. Just started a channel, posting on my channel after I raced at Dig or Die in December. Outran Billy the Kid. Yeah, hopefully he comes. I don't know if he's going to come back. Hopefully you're going to be back there too. This December. I can't wait. December is going to be freaking awesome. We lost Zach. I don't know where Zach went. yeah, do it, man. Start posting. I mean, people want to see this stuff. They're interested to see, not what I found that, there are some people that don't share a lot of information, but I like sharing information, try to help everybody go fast. John, are you still going to make a stator change before you run the other car? It's going to be lighter and it will be affecting how your converter works. Not yet. I'm going to leave it the way it is and try to get some data. PTC, Dusty is who we use to spec them out. And I think I'm going to just try it where it's at. And it depends on how light I can get this thing. I don't know if it's really going to get super, super light. My goal is to get it 2,700 pounds with me in it, but I don't know if it's going to work or not. I mean, it might end up at 2,800 pounds or 2,900. Hopefully it's not going to end up at 28 or 2,900. I'm supposed to be on a diet, but it's not really working out real well right now. So, I mean, that would definitely help. So Sebastian has tried for years to leave the spring out entirely. I've done that too, Scott. I have brought the spring. I have run with no spring at all, and I didn't have any issues. The only issue I had with no springs at all is if you turn off the CO2, which I've got a quarter turn valve, which I normally turn it off. It sounds like a tractor because it's got a big exhaust leak when you're just riding through the pits or when you're right before you do your burnout. The wastegates are open, they're blowed open, and it sounds horrible. Yeah, Anthony, I'm about to head to bed too. He says he'll see us at Piedmont. We'll see you. And then Boosting, my friend, he's got 7 PSI spring with the air compressor controlled. Yeah, that works great. So it's definitely easy. Rodney said getting late for you guys. Have a good time. Yeah, he's over in California. So he's it's still not late for him, but we have went a little further tonight than we normally do. But we normally go a couple hours though. So this is fun. This has been a good time. Zach, get that picture of Randy smiling when he runs personal best this weekend. Yeah, we're hoping we destroy that 430 pass this weekend, guys. I mean, hopefully. If the track's good and we don't have any mechanical issues and the transmission works good and I don't be stupid and hit the up arrow too much, then we should be in good shape. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna try it though. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna jump off. So yeah, this was good. I just noticed up there we had like 125 people, and we normally don't have quite that many people on at one time, but that makes perfect sense why there was more questions than I could answer, because normally I'm able to get through these and answer more questions as we're going, but when we got that many people on, it's hard. But all right, guys, well, I will see y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna try, depending on how the signal is, we're gonna try to I'll try to go live a couple times because I don't know that I'll be able to upload any videos. And if we're there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, probably the only racing content we'll be able to get is any of the lives I get over the weekend. So, it just is what it is. But if y'all want to join our weekly live chats, we do this every Wednesday night. It's $5 a month, $4.99. We have a good time usually. And right now, horses all get out. I didn't even drink all my old sweet tea. Normally I drink it all. All right, guys, we'll see y'all. Randy, Milton, Zach's already gone to bed. He said, screw y'all, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. he said, I'm going to bed. All right, guys, we'll see y'all soon. Right. Later.
Enjoyed it.
Thanks for jumping on, guys.
Thanks for the invite.
All right, we'll see you. Sorry it was late.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was at work.
Thanks for the reminder. I was like, damn, that's Milton. I forgot to send him a link too. All right, later, guys.
All right.
See you.